Welcome back to City Insider. This is a YouTube channel for news, stories, and analysis surrounding Manchester City Football Club. I will update new video every day. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. David Silva says only Arsenal can challenge Man City for the title. David Silva believes only Arsenal are capable of challenging Manchester City for the Premier League title this season. Mikel Arteta's side were City's closest rivals last season, but a poor end to the campaign saw them finish 5 points behind Pep Guardiola's men, who went on to complete the treble. Manchester United finished third last season, but have endured a mixed start, while Newcastle United secured the final Champions League place last term, but have begun this campaign with 3 defeats from their opening 4 games. Arsenal, meanwhile, have registered 3 wins so far, and after strengthening the midfield with the signing of Declan Rice. Silva believes Arteta's side will run City close again this season. They, City, have an amazing team with some amazing players, Silva told the Mirror. This is Pep's 8th season at City. The first year he was getting used to the Premier League, but now they are almost unstoppable. Arsenal are the only team I can see who maybe have a chance of challenging City. The rest? I don't think they can. I watched nearly all of City's games in the Champions League last season. I couldn't win it when I was there, but I'm so happy for the club that they were finally able to do it. They deserve it. The club deserves it. The supporters deserve to win the Premier League, Champions League, and FA Cup, the treble. It was an amazing achievement. Manchester City submit 21-man List A squad for UEFA Champions League group stage. European champions Manchester City have now submitted a 21-man List A squad for the first phase of their defense of their UEFA Champions League title. Pep Guardiola and his players were crowned champions of Europe for the first time in the Champions League in the final game of last season, defeating Serie A giants Inter at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Istanbul, Turkey. A single goal from City midfielder Rodri secured the club their maiden success in the competition, and capped off a stunning season that also saw the team claim a 3rd successive Premier League title and an FA Cup final win over bitter rivals Manchester United. Now, as Manchester City look to go one step further by claiming back-to-back Champions League trophies, the club have highlighted the list of players tasked with overcoming the first phase of this season's competition. Manchester City have been drawn into Group G in this season's group stage, taking on RB Leipzig of Germany, FK Crvena Zvezda, also known as Red Star Belgrade, of Serbia, and BSC Young Boys of Switzerland. As confirmed by Manchester City in an official club statement on Wednesday afternoon, Pep Guardiola's 21-man List A squad for the UEFA Champions League group stage is as follows: goalkeepers, Ederson, Stefan Ortega Moreno, Scott Carson; defenders, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Manuel Akanji, Ruben Dias, Nathan Ake, Sergio Gomez, Josko Gvardiol; midfielders, Kalvin Phillips, Rodri, Mateus Nunes, Mateo Kovacic, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva; forwards, Julian Alvarez, Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Erling Haaland. UEFA rules state that the List A is made up of a maximum of 25 players, 2 of whom must be goalkeepers. There are a minimum of 8 places reserved exclusively for or locally trained players. If a club has fewer than 8 locally trained players in their squad, then the maximum number of players on List A is reduced accordingly. Manchester City eye Brighton sensation Evan Ferguson. Manchester City are the top dogs, not only in England but in the world. Over the last few seasons, their dominance has made them the enemy to be feared, not just on the pitch, but in the transfer market, as they are known to sign the best talents in the league. Think Mahrez, Grealish, and Stones. But now, Brighton could suffer from that same fate. That's right, according to an astonishing report from E-News, Manchester City are currently eyeing the Brighton sensation Evan Ferguson, with the idea to sign him in the January transfer market. It's thought that Pep Guardiola is planning to play him alongside Erling Haaland, in what would be the most potent attack in the league. Certainly, Ferguson is lethal in his own right, but if you bring him into the best team in the world, with some of the best creative players, he will surely shine. As an 18-year-old, to learn from the best in the business will do wonders for his development. From Brighton's perspective, they are certainly known for being a selling club. They have made this reputation for themselves over the last few seasons. However, given Roberto De Zerbi's aims to make them a team to be feared not only in England but in Europe, they may wish to change this narrative. Certainly, Ferguson is their most valuable asset at the moment. He's one of the best young forwards in the league, coming off the back of a hat-trick against Newcastle United, who are no pushovers. The Republic of Ireland international is tipped to have a great season. An important point to note is that City recently sold their youngster Cole Palmer to Chelsea. Therefore, they have space for a new starlet to come in and shine. Kalvin Phillips could rethink January exit. Manchester City midfielder Kalvin Phillips could be tempted to chase a move away from the club during the January transfer window. Kalvin Phillips may rethink his Manchester City future if he isn't playing more regularly come the January window, that is according to iNews, who claimed that Phillips has an increasingly uncertain future at Manchester City. It stated that Phillips received interest from both Everton and Newcastle United over the summer transfer window. Phillips snubbed all interest because he was determined to prove that he could be a first-team star at the Etihad Stadium. However, Phillips could look into a loan move in January in order to put himself in the frame for England's Euro 2024 squad. The report adds that Phillips is likely to have a number of suitors this summer, with Newcastle potentially still interested, just over a year since his £45 million move from Leeds United. Newcastle splashed out on a new midfielder over the summer, with Sandro Tonali arriving from AC Milan. The Magpies have struggled in the opening weeks of the season, though, with their midfield suffering some issues. A natural holder just hasn't emerged, with neither Tonali nor Bruno Guimaraes particularly ideal for that role. They are better off with the freedom to impact the game a little further forward, and Newcastle could go for more of an anchor man. Phillips could be that player, having played in that role for Leeds. And a Newcastle push in January wouldn't be a surprise. Another club that showed an interest in Phillips was Liverpool. Reports from the Daily Mail in August suggested that Liverpool were back in the hunt for Phillips, having previously ruled out a move. Liverpool had missed out on both Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo, so returned to the market for another holding midfielder. Phillips was one option, but the Reds ended up signing two Bundesliga midfielders in Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch. It's hard to imagine that Liverpool will be back in for Phillips in January now, with the Reds surely done with their midfield recruitment for now. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.